I did have one white friend, and that sounds like a negative thing to say, but I had a bunch of white friends, but I had a white friend who was like my friend. This is the first person I spent the night at their house, and I'm pretty sure that's the first time I seen a finished basement as well, because he did not live in the inner city, um, and so going to his house was quite an experience, something that I wasn't accustomed to, traditionally wasn't used to. It was nicer home, nice neighborhood, and like I said, I'm pretty sure it was like they had a refrigerator downstairs and they finished basement, and I was like, this is living right here. Uh, but outside of that, I really didn't have a lot of interaction with white people. Um, like in the neighborhood, how we prepared for adulthood is we slapboxed. And if you're not familiar with slap boxing is, it's open hand fighting, right? And it's like sparring to see who. It's like fencing, for lack of better words, to where if you can get a smack on somebody, it's like a touche, it's like a touch, right? Or if you watch like sparring and like martial arts where you can get a clean kick or a clean hit on somebody, that's what slap boxing is. And that's what prepared us for adulthood, manhood. Not a lot of men in the household, so we had to teach each other how to fight. And I mentioned on the previous episode, like I was sensitive, I was soft, so everybody wanted to try me. So I had to be that much harder externally, so I could be soft and internally, right? But we always just learned how to practice our craft. We just be out in the middle of the street, old heads be on the porch looking at us smoking cigarettes, judging us from afar or giving pointers. You got to keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. It's like, now I put them down on purpose. That's a technique, because then they think they got me. Then I'm going to hurry up and put them up. Anyway, ignorance. But yeah, old heads, neighbors, regular, um, I want to say crackheads, but I don't know like another term. I don't know if they smoke crack. So let's just clarify. I don't know if they smoked crack, but they look like avid drug users for sure. They weren't related to anybody. They were just around the neighborhoods. And they like fixed cars. Like they had a genius level a knowledge of like mechanics and how cars and shit worked. But, you know, they like to either get sauced or, you know, play with that rock, that hard. But yeah, those guys hanging around the neighborhoods, saying things. Those were the men that we had to look up to, and I knew who my father was. For a lot of you that know me, like I knew who my father was, but it was like a what white people call a Disneyland dad. And as I continue to echo, is my dad never took me to Disneyland. But what a Disneyland dad is I guess a dad who just gets his kids to take him to Disneyland, which is hilarious. But I went to see my dad on the weekends or like every other weekend. It really wasn't a consistent cadence. But that was the relationship. So these random old dudes, oh, and men of the neighborhood, taught us that those were our examples of what men were and what men looked like, and how they how they carry themselves. I laugh at all of this because this is like a product of your environment is such a real thing that like for I feel like I made it out, like fortunately, but some of the people who I know are still in those circumstances, like entrenched in the trenches, fully immersed into that life. And I think Andre 3000 said, he thought the idea was to like have a better life. But I guess it ain't, because like I'm not hood, but I mean I am. And I periodically like to do ratchet things and say ratchet things, but I also can speak on a corporate event and talk to a crowd of people who don't look like me, who not where I'm from, and be able to communicate with them at a high level about my experiences, about their experiences, or just about anything. That's my gift and my curse, is I can talk to anybody about anything. Excuse me. But these clucks and these winos and these alcoholics that would be at the basketball court and be at the neighborhood and periodically coming to fix the alternator on mama's car, and all those things. Those are what men look like to us.